Boško's grandfather was one of an estimated 500,000 Serbs killed by the Croatian fascists. When the partisan leader Marshal Tito emerged victorious at the end of the war, he had to contend with this legacy of deadly hatreds. His solution was to outlaw all expressions of nationalism. Everyone would now be a Yugoslav. A multi-ethnic youth corps, the Tito Pioneers, set out to rebuild the country. For Admira's father, Zio, it was a time for hope.
I was a Tito pioneer, and I still believe in one idea. Tito was probably a visionary, and even now I remember his words. Keep brotherhood and unity in your eye. If we had succeeded in keeping to that, this war would not have happened.
For the generation that followed, Yugoslavia became the most open society in Eastern Europe, with the freedom to travel and a standard of living closest to the West. When they graduated from high school in June 1986, Boško and Admira were typical Yugoslav teenagers. His mother says they were interested in cars, movies, and music. But that summer, Boško's father suddenly died from a heart attack. He was just 45. It was hard on Boško. 3 weeks later, he had to report for compulsory military duty in what was then the Yugoslav Federal Army. He was sent to an officer training school in Serbia.
Admira was very upset at the time he was in the army. You could see in her face that she loved Boško. One day I tried to help her, to say to her, go out with your friends. There are more guys than Boško. That was my personal opinion. I thought the kid should go out and have a good time. But I could never convince her.
Admira was really his first love. I can honestly say it was true love between them.
They'd never been apart before. He was 300 miles away. They wrote to each other almost every day.
My dearest Admira, every night when I go to bed, I cannot sleep because I'm thinking of you. My love, you are the only happiness I have.
My dear love, Sarajevo at night is the most beautiful thing in the world. I guess I could live somewhere else, but only if I must, or if I'm forced. Just a little beat of time is left until we are together. After that, absolutely nothing can separate us.
My dearest Admira, truly I miss you so much that I cannot say or explain in words. Now, all my life points to the day when I'll finish my military service and see you again.
After 11 months, they were back together again. While Admira continued studying economics at university, Boško set up a small kitchenware store stocked with products they'd buy on trips to Italy. Meanwhile, across Eastern Europe, communism was crumbling. But in Yugoslavia, an old force was reasserting itself. On an ancient battleground called the Field of the Blackbirds, 500,000 Serbs gathered to honor their 14th century war hero, Prince Lazar. He had fought the Muslim Turks at the Battle of Kosovo in 1389, and his defeat had not been forgotten. Now, a militant Serbian politician, Slobodan Milošević, used the threat of ancient enemies to stoke a rising Serbian nationalism with a call to reclaim their ancient territory.
Igrom istorije I života izgleda kao da je Srbija baš ove 1989. godine povratila svoju državu I svoje dostojanstvo da bi tako proslavila istorijski događaj iz daleke prošlosti koji je imao veliki istorijski I simbolički značaj za njenu budućnost.
In Croatia, the Serbian threat led to a declaration of independence in 1991. War broke out as Croatian forces battled the Serb-dominated Federal Army. History seemed to repeat itself. The old hatreds reasserted themselves as forces from both sides massacred civilians. Once again, Serbs in Croatia were forced to flee. Among them, after her house was destroyed for the second time in her life, Boško's grandmother, Naka Gruber. Leaving literally everything behind, she finally joined relatives in Canada.
Everything was looted and robbed, burned down. How couldn't it be hard? I see that there's no good fortune in anything. Since I was left without a husband, without a home, without anything, how can I be hopeful? How can I be happy?
In the Serbian Orthodox Church, she lit candles for the dead and prayed for the living, especially for her daughter and grandsons back in Bosnia, where people were still convinced that the war would not come to them.
I told my daughter Rada before I came here, get out of Sarajevo, take the kids and go to Serbia. I saw the situation was boiling over. It would lead to great evil. And it was.
On April 5th, 1992, the streets of Sarajevo were filled with Bosnian Muslims, Serbs, and Croats demonstrating their support for a new, independent, multi-ethnic state. Sarajevans marched in the hope that they could hold on to their tradition of tolerance and avoid the bloodshed that followed Croatian independence. Suddenly, shots rang out. Bosnian Serbs loyal to a political party opposed to independence had fired into the crowd. A sniper's bullet claimed the first casualty of the Bosnian War. The siege of Sarajevo was about to begin.
I think that Boško and Admira thought that everything would end soon. Even I thought that it would be 15 days, maybe a couple of 3 months maximum, but it took time. Horrible things are going on, and it's very hard to watch and live with that. But it's more horrible when you're a part of it. They felt very bad.
There were, of course, many Serbs who immediately left the city to join the Serbian army. People who had known Admira's father Zil. People like Father Vojislav Čarkić, an Orthodox priest.